Okay, we're back, and now we're going to start adding pictures to our timeline over the music and begin to make something happen that'll look like the video that you should have already previewed from my website. Okay, so first off, I'm zooming in a little bit using this box and getting to a point in about 8 seconds on my timeline so I can see the beats fairly well. And we are going to find the spot for our first picture. The reason we're not going to start at 0 is because we'll put a title at the beginning, which I will teach you later how to use the title tool. For now, simply we'll go to the part of the song where we'll drop in, which I believe is here. Yep, now I just hit spacebar. That's a quick way to stop, quicker than going to the play stop button. So, right there. I'm going to zoom in and see how close I got. I'm a little into the beat, so I'll adjust. You can hear it. That is the beginning at 4 seconds and 24 frames. Zoom out a little bit. This is where our first picture will go. So the pictures are in the picture folder. I'll collapse this. Well, before we get started, a quick word, a mistake that's commonly made. This yellow line, if you grab it and pull it down, you will actually turn off the audio. If I were to play, nothing. What did I say? 424, 424. If I type that in, it takes me straight to that point. That's a handy thing to do if you're following along with me, is type in the times. Okay, so I'm going to put this back to 0, which is normal volume. I gotta get there. It's kind of hard. That's close enough. Alright, so got my song set. Be careful of the yellow line. These other things we'll wait for later. Be careful not to turn off your speaker or you'll hear nothing. Okay, picture folder. I'm going to start with me, young, my first category. Me at birth going down in time. And I'm going to start to bring in pictures. Now I could bring in a lot at once, but I'm going to do this one picture at a time for now. I'm going to grab the first picture, me at birth, and I'm going to carry it down, holding left click until video track 1, and I'm going to place it right at the line. Now you might notice it snaps to this line, but that's only if this magnet is on. If it's off, sometimes your pictures slide all over the place and it's hard to match up. So turn this on if it's not on, and put it on the line of 424. 4 seconds, 24 frames. And when we play it back, the picture comes in. Now we're going to actually start adding more pictures at different beats. We'll worry about movement later. For now I just want to get the pictures in. Don't worry about their size. We'll correct all of that later. So just getting the pictures in on the beats. 1. Alright, so what we're going to do is use bass beat, and then that clap or cymbal noise. I think we'll do that twice. I'm going to find the second bass beat. Right there, boom, boom. So, hit my space bar to stop it. I'm going to go in close to make sure I'm there. There it is. Sometimes it's hard to decide what. I'm going to go with the first noise at 520. And I'm going to bring my second picture in at 520. Now you can use the same times as me because we're using the same song and things will match up perfectly. So I'm going to take my second picture, click on it, and drag it and put it in on top of the first picture right at the line. It cuts away the rest of the picture and leaves me this picture. So play it back. Now we're going to use the cymbal for our next cut. Boom, boom, right there. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in to make sure I'm where I need to be. And it's hard to decide. I'm going to go with 6:17. Either one of those would work, but 6 seconds, 17 frames, and drop our third picture in. Zoom back out, grab picture 3, drop it on the line over the other picture. Now, the reason I'm just dropping them in is it's easier than trying to cut off the back of the picture. perfectly and then put another in and then cut off another. It's just faster to keep dropping them in. If there were things in our way here that we didn't want to move, then I would trim the pictures down as well. Okay, so our next picture will come in on the next low beat. Boom, boom, boom. Just missed it. Boom. Right about here, let's see. Looks like I'm right on it. Yep, 704. At 704, our next picture comes in, your fourth picture. Let's find the next. We're going to have 6 pictures in here in just a second. There's the next bass beat. Not the clap. I'm skipping the clap, going to the next bass beat. And again, this is just my preference for this song. You could actually edit this completely different than I am and still have a nice video. Right there, I think. Let me go back out and play it. Boom, boom, right there, boom. I'm going to go with that. 8 seconds flat for the 5th picture. And now for the 6th picture. I'm not going to use this one. And I'm not going to use this one either. Okay. That'll work. Me and my grandfather. And my brother. Incidentally, in case you were wondering, me at birth, me 9 days, me with grandpa at 9 days, me and my mother about 1, and me with grandpa when I'm about 2. Next thing, we've got bass beat, clap, bass beat. Now we need a clap. Bass, clap, bass, clap. Okay, this is the final spot. Make sure I'm on it. Close. Right there. 826, the 6th picture. I'm actually going to... Did I use this one? Yes. Okay. So now that I've got the 6th picture, we're going to get ready to put in the fast repeating picture part. Here we go. Okay, so this part here is going to be a little trickier because we have lots of little claps that we're going to try to move one picture to. I'll show you what I mean. First, I'm going to take us back and let you see it to remind you what we're doing. Okay, so you might have noticed there our picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That part where it goes fast. We have to, basically, there's 9 beats, or 9 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so there it is. And it happens 3 times. These songs are fairly repetitive. So we're going to use 9 pictures with that 8, 9 being close together after picture 6. And it comes in at a pretty big hit. So we're going to go ahead and go back over and keep going. I added a picture here that I didn't use over here. That one. Okay, I'm going to switch just to keep as close as I can to the original. I think this was the picture I wanted for picture 3. Yep, not that one. Okay, and I just put that over the top of the other one. Now here's that big beat. Alright, so that's... Let me find it. Can't really see it. It's hard to see. But it's right in here. I'm going to listen for it. I think it's about here at 9:14. That's where this picture ends and the next begins. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off because I'm going to have to now work with one picture in very small pieces with this fast clapping part of the song. Okay, remember it's 9 with 8 and 9 being close together. So we're going to take our next picture and bring it in. And I'm going to place this picture in the timeline here, right at that last beat, at the boom of 9, what was it, 14? Yes. Okay, so here we go, the claps. it'd be one way to try to make this small and keep putting the same picture in because we're using the same image and moving it around the screen. But it's actually a little bit easier to take one image and just cut it in small parts and move those parts. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to scroll over just a little. I'm going to make my timeline a little bit bigger by pushing this panel over. Okay, so we're going to start hitting all the claps. And these are hard to hear, so as long as you get them pretty darn close, it happens so fast the eye won't detect that it doesn't match the beat if you're close at least. Here we go. Okay. First one's about here. Go back. I'm going to go with this, about 9:23. So I'm going to make a cut. I'm going to use the razor tool, and I'm going to slice. Now be careful, I can start slicing all over the place, so be careful with the razor tool. Now I'm basically bobbing my head to each clap that I hear, and I'm trying to hit the space bar and stop at each clap. I'm going to go with that. Try again. A little past. You can kind of hear that one. It's right there. Remember, I'm bobbing my head to the beat and hitting spacebar when I get to the one I want to make for the next cut. Okay. Remember, there's 9. I went past it. What about here? It's actually here. It's a little further off. All right, continuing. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe 3 more. Okay. Now there's the 2. There's 1. That's the last one. There's 8 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little claps. You don't need what's at the end. Switch back to your mouse pointer. Click on it and delete it. And let's see. I'm going to at least eye it up and count the claps as they approach each line. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now we're going to take the picture and resize it and place it in different areas on the screen. Now before I do that, I noticed the picture's kind of, I don't know, sloppy stuff in the background, a lot of area that I don't think is important, especially when I click on it and make it smaller. And incidentally, I'm going to make all of these smaller in the same size. So now that's going to take us to a window called our effects controls. If I click on any image or song, I get different controls for that file type. Starting with the first picture of the 9, I'm going to notice that I've got motion, opacity, and slow motion type settings. I'm going to stick with motion. Scale is size, position is where it is, X and Y on the graph or the axis. So if I move, you see it goes side to side, and if I move this, it goes up and down. So you're moving it based on its center point, which is set by this anchor point. We'll look at anchor points at a future time, but your position is pretty easy. Your scale is size. It's pretty easy as well. Notice I have some problems with this picture, and you might encounter picture problems throughout this project, so some quick basic cropping can clean it up really nicely and let you be able to keep editing without having it look too poor. So to do, let's see, first thing, size. I'm going to make it smaller, but the smaller I make it, the smaller I become. It's hard to see, so I want to cut some of this picture away because it's not useful anyway. So I'm going to come down here to my effects panel and open up some video effects. It's actually called crop. There's a lot of folders, and if you don't know where you're looking for it, it could take you a long time. So we'll use the search bar and say crop or type crop. You get a few. I'm trying to transform the file. There it is, crop. I'm going to drop that right on top of this picture. Now, I click on the picture and I can crop it. Notice that crop was added to the controls for the effect control, a cropping tool. So I could move the lines by hitting these numbers, or I could simply click on the word and get my handles. I want to cut a little off the bottom where that white line was and get rid of some of this wasted space and some of this wasted space and even some of this. Make it into a smaller picture. So now some of the picture's been cut away and I've got a picture that's much smaller than the original. I can now close crop, go back to motion, finally get it to the size I want, and for my picture I'm going to go down to about, I don't know, 35%. I'm going to type that in, 35%. You might notice you can use your mouse and click and drag and get the numbers to change or type them in. So I'm going to position it now in the top corner. So I'm going to use my positioning numbers, or I could simply click on motion, which allows me to resize and reposition manually. Notice the numbers changing. I'm going to bring it to the top corner and start this first picture about here. Now there were 9 claps. So I'm going to essentially go with 9 positions. There's a lot of ways you could do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do something similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go to the center with 7, 8, 9 and just make them change in size from the center. I think that'll look pretty cool. So the first one will start, I don't know, right about here. You need to use your own numbering for the scale because your picture might be different than mine in size. You might not have cropped it either. And then position it in the top corner. Now I'm going to use these numbers to my advantage. I'm actually going to change this to 175 because that'll help me to have a number to line up the other pictures. So this first picture is edited and in the right place. The other ones are not. So I'm going to help myself out here. I'm going to right click on the picture and I'm going to copy everything I did to it. I'm then going to highlight the rest of the pictures by lassoing them, right click, and paste the attributes. Do not use Control V. That'll just paste that same picture over the top. You just want to paste the attributes, and now everything that we did to picture 1 happens in the other pictures. So this will speed up our process now because we applied the same editing from one picture to the others. So moving on to picture 2, I'm going to click on it so I have its controls. Same settings, except I'm going to change the position and I'm going to slide the picture over to the center. Now it's hard to know the center exactly because there's not a grid, but you can come up here to the top corner of your monitor window and click and go down to safe margins. And that'll bring you up at least some marks so you can see what you're doing with centering. And I'm going to say that it's about center-ish for my picture. All right, this picture is perfect. So the first picture is here, second picture is here by just changing its position. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to keep going. Third picture, I'm going to move it to the corner. So I'm simply going to slide it over. And I'm going to go about the same place the other picture was at the beginning. Compare it. Move this back just a little. Okay, and remember, any changes you make are made to the picture that's been clicked on. So make sure you have clicked on the correct clip or selected the correct clip. So the third picture is fine. Alright, fourth picture down in the bottom corner, straight down. So I'll use this number to move it down. Now I could also click on motion and move it, but I'll tend to have a loose mouse hand and move it left and right and get it out of position. Keeping it on the grid lines is probably a better idea. I'll start at about, I guess I'll line it up just under this line, and that's 4. So 5 will be down and over. Now to get it to the same level down, I could use the settings for this picture and apply them here. So the down is 855. So I'm going to click here and just type in 855. Okay, so that puts it at the bottom. Now to get it in the middle, just like the other picture was, see 1, 2, this was the middle picture. its settings were 748 to be in the middle, because this was left and right. So I'm just going to click 748. And now I've got this picture in the same position on the bottom as this picture was on the top. Need the last one in the last corner. I think you can still get the idea. So for this sixth picture, I can go to it, and I want to move it to the bottom corner, which is same place as here, and the same as the bottom numbers here. So on this picture, bottom was 855. Okay. On this picture, bottom will be 855. And then to get it all the way over here, it would have to be the same as the third picture. 1, 2, 3. This picture, its number was 1328. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1328 on this picture. All right, and that puts our 6 pictures in. We got three to go. Okay, I want to see what I did on the previous video for this. Right here we are. Alright, 3 sizes in the middle, and we'll take a break. So, final 3 pictures. Now I need to go to the center. So I will take the first picture and move it to the center by simply sliding it. About the same as the other one was. What was it? 48. I like keeping things lined up nicely. 748. Okay, and I need to move it to the center. So I'm going to call the center right about here. So remember, the last 3 claps were 3 size changes from small to medium to large. I think it's close to the center. Okay, so this one here. Now the next one, I need to get it in the center as well. I think it might be easier to paste what's here on these 2. So I'm going to copy this, select these 2, and paste the attributes. Remember, I'm right-clicking for copy-paste. Do not use Control-V or Control-C. Use your right-click to do that part. All right, now they're all here. So I just need to make this one and this one go larger and larger. I'll click here. I will take the scale, go from 35% to, I don't know, maybe 60-ish. But you notice it moved off center a little bit because mine was cropped. Yours may be perfectly in the center, so you're fine. But if it's not, I'm just going to slightly reposition it. So this picture is just over the top of the other one, but larger. That's better. And the fourth and final picture, or the 9th picture, sorry, just larger than 60. I'm going to go with like 90. Type it 90. Now, of course, it's not in the center. Looks weird. I want to move it to the center by just eyeing it up. So center, center. So this picture is now in line where it needs to be. Now let's try it by looking at what we've created so far. Okay, that's good enough to get you a little bit into your first set of editing using essentially cuts and positioning and scale. We're going to add a lot more to this. This was very basic to start off. Save your work periodically so you don't lose your work. Control S is a great way to save, or File, Save. Alright, let's finish out the rest of these fast claps and be able to move on to a different type of editing. So here we go. To easily do this, I'm going to show you a trick. As most of you know, music is very repetitive, and this clapping that you hear here for 9 claps with the double at the end is repeated 4 times. So I'll give you an example by listening. Alright, 4 times that went on. We're going to put 2 more sections of pictures in, essentially cut to the same beat. We'll just animate them, or position them differently so they bounce around the screen. So we'll do 2 more. On the third one, that'll be with the next lesson. We'll add a background and an effect, and do a little bit of base bumps. But for now, let's finish our cuts and positioning. So I need to grab our next picture to put in and cut up, and then do the same with the third picture. So we got picture 1 here. Well, more specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to start. Picture 7 was cut into 9 pieces. Picture 8 will be cut into 9 pieces, and picture 9 will be. From 10 on, we'll do other stuff. So back to my folder. I'm looking for my next picture that's in this folder. Now, if you double click on a picture, it will show up in the effects window area. It's a temporary thing. If you close it, it just goes away. I'm looking for a particular picture. This one with my brother and our dog. And I'm going to drop that in and place it in right here. Oops. Oh, that's nothing. I added an effect there, I think. Oh, it's because of the cropping. Okay, so I'm going to take this picture and cut it up like this. Now I could go through that pain of finding every clap, but knowing this is rhythmic and this clapping matches this, it's the same exact thing. So we're going to match these cuts to this picture. Here's an easy way to do it. I'm going to put it in track 2. And I'm going to drag it down to the very first of these 9 images. Be sure you're on the correct image. Yep, so these 9. And by having it over exactly in the same place, I can trim the back off and use my razor to cut in the same places. So if you want to see better, zoom in more. Cut, cut, and your razor tends to line up with the other cut. It sort of knows what you're doing. So even if you're a little off, it tends to cut where it should. There's 9 new cuts. So I will click back to my mouse pointer and I will lasso all of these by clicking and dragging. And I will put them down here right next to it. So now these pictures need a whole different thing to happen to them. Why is that lower? Oh, some kind of a fade. Weird. Okay. I'm going to move our picture around for this one, wherever we need it to be. Let's use the original as a guide. Here's the first picture of 9, the second. Progressively smaller for 9 counts. And progressively bigger for 9 counts. Okay, so smaller. So first things first, the picture is where it needs to be. I think it's too big though. I can't even see myself. So I'm going to go back to my effects controls. First select the picture, the first one of the 9, so I can start bringing them into position, working my way backwards. So if this is 100% and I begin subtracting all the way back to a really small size and I need 9 of them, well then I guess I could essentially drop them down 9 or 10% at a time. The other one didn't actually end. It just came back at the same size. Okay, so I'm going to get back to our timeline, this picture. I'm going to start it at 90. I can almost be seen. It's pretty close. And I'm going to go ahead and make this one 90. So this one, click on it, should be what? 80. Oops, not 810. And then this one should be 70. This one should be 60 to 50. I'm not even going to reposition. I'm just going to change them. This one is 40. This one is 30. And this one would be 20. And the final one here would be 10. So it won't quite go away. And I can check them all. Okay, it looks good. Okay, now one more picture coming the other way. Alright, so I'm going to grab my next photograph, double click, that's the one, and I'm going to bring it in, and instead of putting it in track 1, I'm going to use the previous picture for cutting guides. So I'll bring it over the top of 5. I will cut the back side away, get my razor tool, and slice it at the same spots, since it will match up with the claps that are repetitive. I will put this in next to the other images. We're ready to make it go from smaller to larger. So essentially, this first one and all of them are at 100%. So I could take these settings and paste them. That would be one way. But since I know what I need to do, that this will start at 10 and go back to 90, then I guess I will do it manually. 10, because it's faster. Second one, 20, getting larger now. This one, 30. Okay, this one, 40. And so on. I'll just keep going without moving the current time indicator. 50. This one's 60. And this one is 70. And this one is 80. And then this one will be 90. 10% changes. And we'll watch it. Let's go back to the first of the claps. Zoom out a little bit. A little weird in some spots. If you notice it doesn't match, you can always come in and fix the beat a little bit. I think here seems strange, I thought. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I should crop this. Remember, you can apply, here's my crop still. I can put it on one, or I can put it on them all. To put them on it all, I could select them all and drop a crop on all at the same time, but then I'd have to change each setting. So I'm going to put it on 1. Fix the crop a little bit. Now I can't see that. So I'm going to zoom in with this fit. Maybe 150%. Click away. This is the side I need to trim. Click on crop. Trim just a little off. Click away. It's clean now. I will copy by right-clicking on this. I will select all of these and paste the attributes. And they will all have that little line. Oh, I just pasted the percentage changes. Guess I should have done this first. Good idea next time. Put the crop on first, then do your percentage changes. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. See, even a pro can make mistakes. 60. Uh-oh, I screwed up again. 10. This one's 20. This one's 30. This one's 40. This one's 50. 60. 70. 80. And 90. And finished. Let's take a look at it. Just happened. Oh, I'm still zoomed in. Okay, back to fit. Alright, that's good. So as of this final beat count of 6:14, we'll finish this for today and come back with the next training video.